Alright, tip number 1 for growing out your hair is you need to always make sure your hair is moisturized. So too many people that I talk to about my hair is not growing or why is my hair not growing, if you keep your hair dry all the time, you're not really helping the case. And then if you live in a dry state, I live in a very dry state. So if my hair is dry plus my state's dry, my hair is going to start, becoming brittle and want to break off. So the key to this is always having your hair moisturized. And what I do for the winter time is I have my hair in a protective style so that my natural hair is not really out in the winter prone to more breakage. So, that's the first tip here, is just making sure to always keep your hair moisturized. Don't have it dry. Don't ever leave your hair dry. Tip number 2 is going to be find your staple products. Too many people that I know come onto YouTube and we do look for people to, give us an idea of what we should use. Like, well, she has the same exact hair as me, so let me try to use the same products. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, but don't follow someone else's steps because they may not be the steps for you. You can venture off, I didn't even know that I liked Carol's Daughter until I decided to try a different line. No YouTuber that I, follow or anything I know uses Carol's Daughter on a regular basis, but I found that is my staple product for my hair because, it helps it grow. It smells amazing, you can't help but, smell the product. But I started off trying to use the same products. Everyone wants to start with Cantu and Shea Moisture. Those don't work for me. Those sit on top of my hair. So if I was going to follow like every other YouTuber who uses that stuff, that's me not trying to really get my hair to grow because I'm not actually venturing out. Venture out. Don't be scared to try something you haven't tried before, but know your hair. If you know Shea Moisture is going to sit on top of your hair and you're for whatever type 4, don't get Shea Moisture. Get something that's going to be thick consistency to moisturize your hair and it's not just going to sit on top of it and do nothing. That's why I like Carol's Daughter because it's thick, but it's not too thick and it does not just sit on top of my hair. My curls get really defined with just a conditioner. So, find your own staple products. Don't always follow the steps of a YouTuber. You don't have to be exactly like them. Follow your own steps. Tip number 3 is taking care of your hair in the protective styles. Now, too many of us, I was guilty of it before, where you put your hair in a protective style and it's like, okay, that's it. Like, I don't have to do nothing else. I don't have to care for it. Just wrap it up in my bonnet every night, go to sleep, and that's it. And sometimes, if I'm being honest, we all don't always wrap our hair in the bonnet. We always don't do that. So what our mistake is with that, not the bonnet, but just with protective styling, is we feel like, oh, like the hair is protected, I don't have to do nothing else. That is so untrue. When your hair is in a protective style, so something like this, I have to constantly moisturize my hair, and then the twists sometimes get frizzy, so I constantly go back with gel or I go back with a curling cream to make sure that my hair is kept intact and looking very neat and clean. So there's never a protective style where you're not doing anything. Where there shouldn't be a protective style where you're not doing anything with your hair. You should always be moisturizing it. You should always be oiling it. There should be no protective style where you're sitting here like I could not touch my hair for 3 months, not do anything to it, and it's going to grow. That's not the mindset to have if you want your hair to grow. Don't just get a protective style just to be lazy and even when your hair is in the style, you're still not going to take care of it. Because then you're just getting your hair prone to more breakage, especially for twists or stuff like braids. Like, you're getting protective style like that and then you're not doing your hair, you're not taking care of it, you're going to lose hair, and maybe your hairline. So just be careful with stuff like that. Tip number 4 for me is, limit your heat. Now, I'm not going to say, for me personally, I blow dry my hair usually once or 2 times every month when I want to do, a certain style with my natural hair out. That works for me. I put heat protectant on my hair all the time that I do it. I don't use heat all the time on my hair. I don't flat iron my hair. This is what works for me now. Some people are so scared of the blow dryer and heat, and it's like, we're all going to put heat on our hair. Nobody's hair is going to be 100% healthy. No heat damage, no this, no that. We're all going to have breakage, split ends. And me blow drying out my hair helps me to see, the split ends and, and I cut them off. But also, it's a nice little afro style to wear when I don't feel like really doing anything else to it. I blow dry it and I have endless options for my hair. So I like to do that type of heat. That's only 2 times a month though. Sometimes 3 depending on, you know, the styles that I have in my hair. But at max for me, it's going to be about 3 times a month. I do not blow dry my hair more than that. And I do not put heat on my hair more than 3 times a month. So, and to some people that might even be too much for them. But, you know, just like I'm saying, limit the heat, you know, for your hair tolerance. Don't be like this other YouTuber who is like, I never put heat on my hair and it grows all the way to my butt. And when you do it, you're not getting any results. You know, like, if you have type 4 hair, I'm sorry, your hair is going to either be blow dried or you're going to find some way to stretch it out. Blow drying is just the easiest way to do it. It's the quickest way to do it for me. So that's how I do it. I think I'm on tip number 5. I kind of lost track, guys. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 is know your hair. Now, that probably should have been tip number 1, but, you know, I'm just going off the top of my head right now. But tip number 5 is know your hair. Now, like I said, all of us 4 type girls, we like to look on YouTube and look at these type 3, 2, whatever, and be like, oh, like their hair came out like this, and if they do this, my hair could. That's not your hair, boo. That's not your hair type, boo. Look at type 4. There's nothing wrong with having kinky, coily hair. I love my curls. And even then, they don't look kinky, coily. You know? Especially when they're defined. They don't look like how everyone thinks these zigzag nappiness. That's not what it is. Know your hair, though. And what I mean by that is just knowing the porosity of your hair, knowing how dense your hair is, the strands of your hair. And what I mean by that is it your strands coarse? You know, coarse or are they thin? You know, my strands are coarse. Obviously, I have very thick hair. And when it's wet or when it's, you know, dry and it's very hard to comb out and detangle, I have very thick strands. My hair is very dense. I have a lot of hair. But there's some people who have opposite of that. And so that's another reason why you, with the staple products too, is you have to be careful, because just because they are type 4 hair doesn't mean that their hair is exactly like yours. It may look like it, the curl pattern may be the same, but their hair can be thin, or their hair can have low porosity and your hair has high porosity. So because of that, you guys are going to use 2 different products. You have to be very careful with the things that you follow and the people that you look up to when it comes to your hair. You have to know your hair. Like, this is your tresses. These are your hair tresses. You got to know it, you know, like, this is if you are watching this video, obviously your hair means like almost everything to you. So clearly it means everything to you. So that means treat it as such, you know it like if it's your own child. I know my hair to the point where I call it hack my hair, basically, where I know how to wash, blow dry my hair in under an hour. For type 4 hair, I know that doesn't seem real. I know it doesn't seem real, but I do it. And maybe one day I will show you guys that whole entire process that I do, how, you know, how quick that is for me, where before it used to take me 3-4 hours for wash day, and I'm like, wash day. But now I'm like, oh, wash day, because I'm going to be done within an hour, and I still have time to go do my plans, you know? But those are my 5 tips on how to grow out your natural hair. And if you guys have any more tips, be sure to comment on the video. You know, if you guys have any more ideas as far as like growing out your hair, just let me know, and I might put up a part 2 to the video.